Yo, we are back. And I think I already messed something up. So this is awesome. Let's go. I was supposed to load the intro earlier, and I didn't realize I needed to click go live twice. So there you have it. It's a typical Trey move. Welcome back to the verse. Here we are. I am with none other than Steve DeFi with the Volt team. Brother, super glad to
Uh,
have you here with us.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much for staying up late over there, man.
Oh
You're late.
man, anytime you guys want me on, I'm on. Whatever time of the day. So I'm just blessed to be here. Thank you.
Man, thank you so much. I love the energy. I'm excited. I feel as if being in this ecosystem is also a blessing too. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to jump right in and get started talking about
Yes.
what we got going on here with Volt. I really see so much innovation happening in the
Yes.
TitanX ecosystem, and I
Yes.
just kind of want to know y'all's story behind it. So just can you first tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about you and the Volt team just in general?
Yeah. Absolutely. So back quick journey of TitanX journey. I was in Jake's mastermind in December. We formed Blaze. So I'm part of Blaze. We released Blaze. We released Inferno. It was like a training camp of learning, and then parts of the Blaze team launch their own projects. There's Ali and there's Josh on Flux, and me. The Blaze team is me. Me and the Blaze. I mean the Vault team is me. So I did Vault, and I spent years in Web 2. So I've been on Web 2 for like 15 years, and websites. I've lived all over the world. I like to buy back time, and yeah. So that's one of the key things is to be free. That's
Sure.
what I aspire. That's what that's why I got into Web 2 and did stuff in there. But moving to Web 3 and experience with the Blaze boys, releasing some protocols was just amazing. Training camp. I look at it as like a training camp. And so here I am with Vault. I love the tokenomics. I love what's going on with Vault, the simplicity, but the depth under the hood. So
That's
yeah,
that's so interesting that you said it like that because I was like,
yeah,
honestly, the meat and the cheese of this project is pretty simple. What I see is I see like
yeah,
the buy and burn, I see
yeah,
the auction and arbitrage
yeah, yeah,
opportunities, and then I see the LP webbing. So we're like, it's all of this
yeah.
new crypto
Yes.
theory all piled into one. And so
Oh man,
I,
yeah.
before I jump into
Yes.
that, I gotta take a step back. I gotta take a
Yeah,
step back.
yeah.
And for those of you that just piled in here, we got 35 in here so far. Thank you guys for joining. Welcome in. We've just started here today a nice interview with Steve. It looks like Steve DeFi is what he's got his name as. It's at
Yes.
Volt.win. We were discussing the Volt protocol, and we just getting into the background of Steve. He said he made some significant strides towards freedom in Web 2. Would you say that Web 3 is providing you even more substantial opportunity to make even greater exponential strides towards greater freedoms?
Yeah, web web moving into web 3 for me from the beginning with the Blaze, it was just about fun and understanding. And I never thought, like, even last year, I was in Jake's mastermind. I heard all the things about going on with TitanX and the journey he went on, and we were discussing it in the mastermind, the tokenomics. And I always was worried about launching it on Web3 because of security and finding the right dev. In Web 2, I have a team, I have great developers, and they're all there. And I have it set up like that because I delegate a lot. I'm a big
Sure.
delegator. So um yeah, so when I stepped out and did Vault by myself, Ali Kane actually was part of the Vault team for 24 hours. And then after 24 hours, I said to Ali, I said, I think you're a bit busy. I think you're busy. He's like, yeah. So, because it was stepping out and doing all the interviews and being the front, which I've never been like a front person. I've always been like behind the scenes. So stepping out and being on the front, I've absolutely enjoyed it. And I'm having a time of my life on the streams, talking to people, meeting people like you, people like awesome X, like Dave that I met this morning. It's for me, it's actually extremely fun. And I pushed my limit, because when I decided to make Vault, I thought I'm gonna have to push myself to my limit, which is going on a stream. Because public speaking, I remember in 2007, I didn't want to do public speaking, and I ended up teaching at a school, and I was kind of pushed into public speaking into a whole of the school. And I was really nervous, but doing it, I started to like public speaking and then teaching. And, you know, this is like kind of like a conversation, and there's many people watching, but it's fun. And it's fun interviewing people and getting to know them, because it's really easy to make content when you just have to ask questions and be inquisitive and ask and just genuinely want to know what's going on in their life, their history, their project, and so I pushed myself to the limit, and I'm actually really enjoying going on all the streams this last 3 weeks.
I think it is a lot lower stakes than we make it
Yeah.
out to be. I think we do make mountains out of molehills, and particularly for me, I've enjoyed
Yeah.
staying in the background as well. But
Yeah.
like you said, you're a one-man team, and you know the pressures and stresses of trying to do all of these things and show up and be in every place at once. And so I was like, look, I'm going to do the same thing, push myself outside of that comfort zone,
Yes.
and be out there in the front as well. So you and I are
Brilliant.
both pioneering in our own lives right now. We
Yeah.
are pushing ourselves outside of the comfort zone. And so I just want to say
Yeah.
congrats to you on that. I think it
Thank you,
will
man.
be rewarding for you. So
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah, absolutely.
exciting. So I guess we kind of got into this a little bit, how you got into TitanX. You were a part of Jake's mastermind group.
Yeah.
Did you know about Jake before he was building TitanX, or?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I did. I used to watch him on streams, and I thought, "Oh, this guy is smart. He's talked really fast back then. He slowed down a bit." And I thought, "Oh, this guy's really smart." And then I got a DM, and it was a good marketing technique. And I heard about his mastermind. I'm like, I love the name Cash Flow for Life, because I like cash flow, buying your time back, like I mentioned. And that's really the key. And that's the key to buying your time back too. So I thought that's a cool name. So I joined, because I'm really, really keen on joining masterminds. I don't mind paying a premium, because I like the curated information and the get in contact with really cool people, often in masterminds, just like in Jake Mastermind. So I join mastermind in every area of life, in health, in business, in entrepreneurship, in crypto, in all sorts. I joined that mastermind, and I've learned so much in all sorts of masterminds. So I am, yeah, I have no, and I know there's some talk about, oh, people are charging for these mastermind groups. I'm like, it's worth it. I mean, and it's way worth it, joining a mastermind for the
I like
connections.
that you
Yeah.
bring that up because,
Yeah.
for me, I personally had a very difficult time, and we'll get into tokenomics here in a minute, but we're just kind of going on the
Yes.
softball side of things, everybody.
Yes,
Thank you,
absolutely.
everyone, for piling in. I see Bad Sports. What's up, Bad Sports?
Oh, good to see you, man.
What's
Josh,
going on, my guy?
awesome.
Yes,
Oh, man.
sir. We got the Blaze Squad in here. We got the OG S-Ray. What's good, S-Ray? Thank you for popping in, saying what's up. We got Mellow Cryptic. Get a little lightning bolt action. Let's go. Let's go. No Spoon's excited about Volt, baby. So this is what I was getting at
Cool,
right
man.
here. Bad Sports. Bad Sports says we would have never met. This is what I'm getting at right here.
Yeah,
I
that's right.
personally had a hard time in my life finding people who want to talk about Web3 and want to talk about TitanX that are around me in the physical space. And so to be able to join these masterminds, to be able to get into these alpha omega groups, to be able to be around guys like Goo God, where I met Goo God through a group, right? This was somebody like-minded, way far across. And so I feel like that's what we're seeing with this Web3. And we're coming together to build our own new forms of money. And Richard Hart said
Mm,
it best, our money's better than your money, than your paper fiat. So I feel like this is a conglomeration of very smart people trying to put their money and buy their time back. And so I'm excited.
right.
I love that the entire ecosystem is a leverage play on the price of Ethereum. And
Yeah,
so I like that we can continue to dig deeper and deeper with that by building
yeah.
on TitanX and trying to nuke that supply. So without further ado,
Nice.
let's jump in to these Voltonomics, if I may
Yes.
so say so myself.
Voltonomics. I love it. I love it.
Voltonomics, yes.
Yeah, you
These
summed it
things
up
are
really,
getting
Yeah, you
Yeah,
summed it up
sure.
really well. In the beginning of the
Oh,
video, I was like, "Wow, you've really read the white paper, and you've summed it
yeah,
up all the key aspects." That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, and that's why I think, that's where I come in, and that's what I've
Wow.
always advocated for as a co-founder of the verse. Chris and I birthed this out of our mind, the verse, but it
Nice.
always had to do with trying to bring education to the forefront. And Chris was always more technical than me. I'm a more of a macro perspective type guy.
Yeah.
I like have a macro understanding of
Nice.
what's going on in these big markets.
Nice.
I don't do all the TA. I don't need to because I have a lot of other things I do for the verse. The great artwork, the great music, the great videos.
Nice.
That's me. That's what I do. So Chris and I have come together to build something where we
Sweet.
can make this easy for the layman's guy to understand what he's getting into. So I don't know if there are layman's guys that even have minted TitanX. So I think most of these guys are going to get this pretty quickly. I don't think there's guys that are really like struggling to figure out how to mint TitanX and get some or buy some TitanX and then participate. So let's just go in. Tell me about Volt. Give me your overview, and then we'll start getting into some of the finer details.
Yeah, so Vault. Um, when I think of Blaze and I think of a third, when I think of Blaze, I like the auction system of Blaze. So I put that into Vault. When I think of Inferno, I liked the big buy and burn, a big buy and burn. So I put that into Vault and mixed it up and off in a cake and out pop Vault. And it's very simple. It's an auction, perpetual auction buy and burn. Distribution of tokens in in 10 days.
Right.
Limited supply, which and so that's the big power of that's the big power of Vault. It said it's an innovation in buy and burn and auction system. So uh, if you're looking at it, it's very simple. It's simple. You mint with TitanX. I mean, you auction with TitanX, and you get a portion of the daily supply, which is distributed in 10 days. The mechanics of that perpetual auction is the innovation here, because what the buy and burn buys, half of it goes into future auctions. Then that perpetuates the system forwards. So everything that people buy from day 11 onwards, when all tokens are distributed, have been are being auctioned from the buy and burn. So it's Vault is simple, but how it works is kind of deep and really interesting when it clicks.
Yeah, it's definitely deep because I'm seeing that you're pulling lots of different percentages in this white paper from all over. So let me go ahead and see if I can
Yeah,
share this
yeah,
screen here. And we'll go here. Okay. So
yeah.
we're
So
starting out.
yeah, so what is Vault? It's the big thing is an auction system, limited supply, 10-day distribution, massive buy and burn, and that's the fundamentals. If you look at the fundamentals, deflationary very quickly. After 10 days, it's deflationary. It's an 80% buy pressure, limited supply, and bonded 8% goes into this bonded liquidity, which is it's designed. It has the intention just to grow like this, and
So
it
what
kind of
I'm
yeah
getting, it's almost like you've captured the essence of Inferno. And stop me if I'm wrong. Inferno's buy and burn,
yeah
Atropa's webbing system, and then
oh
your
yeah
own
yeah
innovation with the auction arbitrage. So let's go back.
yeah
Let's go more to that because I think that's what we're looking at here is the
yeah
treasure vault. This
yeah.
is where the auction and all the magic begins and creates a perpetual system. So can you explain this more to me like I'm 5 years old? What can you just
Abs-
walk me through the process?
yeah, absolutely. The treasure vault is all tokens which are used from day 11 onwards. So what happens? 10-day distribution of almost just less than 10% a day. If the treasure vault did not exist on day 11, no more auction could happen because there'd be no more tokens. But because the treasure vault exists, perpetual auctions are possible. And what the treasure vault does is collect 50% of all tokens brought from the liquidity pool in the buy and burn, and just feeds it to this treasure vault. So this treasure vault has a certain amount. We don't know how much it's going to be, but on day 11, 20% of what is in the treasure vault is up for auction. And then day 12, 20% from the treasure vault. And it's continuously 20%. But it's going to
And
be continued. Yeah.
is that what we're seeing here on this
This
initial token distribution?
right. So this I should word this better. I'm sorry, I need to word this better. This is the buy and burn. So the buy and burn on day 1 there is none, but on day 2 the buy and burn is 42%, and it goes down because I want to make everything as decentralized as possible, and I love knowing what's going to happen to the buy and burn because it's a key aspect of it. So what's going to happen to the buy and burn on day 2? 42% of the buy and burn is going to be used throughout the day in 5-minute intervals, split 288 times. So whatever, 42% in 5-minute intervals. On day 3, 39, it goes all the way down to 15% on day 11. So day 11 onwards, 15% of the value of the buy and burn is used. And it's similar to what we did in Inferno. Because on Inferno,
seeing that buy side pressure that's going to create
Mm.
in that 10 days some great demand, and we're going to see this token go crazy after day 11 truly, because these auctions are going to continue to perpetuate in the system and the token continues to be deflationary into the future.
Yes, that's right. It's deflationary because everything that exists in the treasure vault also is one-to-one almost exists in the burn address. So it burns pretty quick. And the reason for a higher burn earlier in the protocol is to get rid of as many tokens as possible. So people will sell into it and it will just buy as many tokens as possible to fill up that treasure vault. To fill up the treasure vault.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because then what do you envision happening in the treasure vault with the arbitrage opportunities?
It's really interesting. And that's why I love what Flux did, because when you come in on the minute hour 2 and hour 2 the next day, you get it. With Blaze, it was you come in at 10:15, and then 30 minutes later, when the day ticks over, you you um you have you can sell your tokens right away. So I've done the same mechanic as Blaze.
Okay.
There's an
Awesome.
alarm going. There's an alarm going off here. Let me.
No, I mean, this is great, man. All this stuff is really exciting because for me, I get it. Like, I get it. And I'm curious also about the LP webbing. So if I go back to the first page here, it talks about, it
Yeah,
says
yeah,
this here. I'm sorry, here. Liquidity bonding
yes.
all type. So tell me more about this right here. And what do you mean by
Ye-
all tokens and how's this
no,
going to work?
right. So I'm actually now thinking of doing this with just 6, actually, or I'm still thinking about how many to do it with. But this ties into the Vault wheel, and this is phase 2 of Vault. And so if you like this protocol and you're interested in another interview in a couple of weeks to dive into the Vault wheel, it's phase 2, which is going to be launched. It's like yin and yang. You got the Vault and then the wheel. And the Vault is like the center part, and the Vault wheel is a synergistic effect of all the other protocols liquidity bonded and working together to boost upwards. It's a plan. It's a
Yeah,
plan.
I mean, I'm excited because I can see where this thing is going. It's got it, like I said, it's got the Atropa vibes, it's got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Austin vibes, and it's got the buy and burn. Kind of hard to beat that. And I see what did Mellow Cryptic say? Mellow Cryptic said right here, Bolt is gonna be the project that changes everything you know about everything. That leads me
Wow.
to be curious. What are the Blaze guys saying? Are they like, are their minds blown? Like, I gotta know how this conversation took place.
Yeah, we don't. We actually have not talked together much about the vault, and I'm having I'm having Josh on my show to talk about Flux. So um, Monday, Saturday or Monday, he said. So yeah. I mean, oh yeah, I mean, there's 8 guys in Blaze, so it's like which one do you ask? I mean, some of them. Justin loves Vault so much he's built Lotus on it. so so
I was just curious, like, are these guys like, oh, like Steve has he's one upped us, or he's out here, he's trying to fix what we started. I mean, do you see what I'm
uh,
getting at?
I see. So when I started Vault, I didn't know the tokenomics of Flux, and Flux didn't know the tokenomics of Vault. So we
Okay.
both started at the same time, and we had a discussion in the early days. And I said to them, I said, "Look, I'm going to launch after you guys. So I'm totally fine launch after you guys because I didn't want it to be a race. I didn't want it to compete. I mean, I like a bit of competitiveness is good in a good spirits, but we but." So yeah, I said to them, "You launch first." So that's why I was so happy last week when I found out they were launching on the 22nd, because that means I announced my day. So I was always planning to announce when I because Flux is a lot more complex system, as in like um, it's way harder to develop. But I'm really ready to launch, but I'm fine waiting because. There's 3 of those guys and then 1 of me, and so yeah, you guys go first. There's 3 of you guys, 3 of the Blaze team. So
Okay.
yeah,
So my big question then is, we got this narrative going on. I've seen it in the TitanX ecosystem where guys are like, they're wanting to reinvent the wheel and name this
uh,
stuff. So is this, would you call this a meme fi? Is this a
that's a
meme token, or is this
that's a
just
good question. That's
DeFi utility? I mean, this could be
okay.
memeable, in my opinion, just from thinking of Volt
Mm,
eNews and other Volt protocols, thinking about this as a meme
yeah,
token. I always think of things from a marketing perspective.
yeah,
So that's my big question. Is
good
this a meme
question.
token?
Um, That's a really, really good question. Actually, I don't look at it as a meme, but I love the term memefi, which I think it was, I don't know who coined that. I think it was Josh, or I think it might have been Chris. But like, that's a great because like you got Awesome X, which is a meme, and this whole thing of Inferno, the value going back into the system in a fair way, in a fair launch manner, is absolutely revolutionary. So that's the meme, and the Fi is what built on. So it's like I would like that's a good question. I mean that's a good question. How would you categorize Vault? Do you think
I
it's a
mean,
meme
I,
Fi
I
or
have a hard time too. Utah Crypto says he would not call it a meme. So
yeah
I mean,
yeah?
necessarily, I mean, it's not.
I
It's
agree.
not like your main focus is getting JPEGs out that are your main marketing tool and technique. Your
You're
your
right.
technique that draws people in is that
Yeah.
they understand TitanX already and the ecosystem already, and they recognize the value in Volt and in burning it for TitanX. So,
Absolutely.
but my
Absolutely. I
my
think
thinking
yeah
is meme fi,
yeah.
it's almost like this could be, if
Mm.
that's what you decided to make it, because that could be your marketing effort pushing forward. So
I
I don't know.
yeah.
I
I
think
got
it
yeah
probably seems more like DeFi to me right now, but that was a question I
yes.
wrote down thinking about it after reading the white paper.
Yeah. On reflection just now, I would say not meme fight because yeah, I'm not a focused on meme like Awesome X, like Inferno. Um, and Dragon X isn't really a meme, and we like the cool tokenomics that Dragon X initiated. It's the same with Vault. I look at it like it's got really cool underlying tokenomics. And when you look at the distribution system of Vault, it's brand new innovation I've never seen in DeFi before. So you don't often get that in a meme coin. You know what I mean? Like you said, the meme coin is the meme in a way, and the Fi is the front end thing that goes. But like in 2016, you had ICOs, one-to-one mint. You had Zen that did mining, that TitanX did better, and then DBZ and Blaze did the auction system. So Vault has gone another step on the road and got something innovative and new in a method of distributing the token. Yeah.
This is what I think is the most important thing in life, is to advance with technology, You have to. You don't have an option as we see technology go on an exponential scale. So for you to have encompassed all of these very relatively new principles. I mean, obviously, some of the first principles of crypto, they go way back. But when we're seeing these first principles applied to new ways to do the technology, like you were saying, Zen, and then the auctions, there's all
Yeah.
different sorts of mechanisms that we're putting into
Yeah.
DeFi, and then combining them and building them into the best systems. I could not be more excited. I'm amped up to see what Volt does. No pun intended. Let's go, baby. Oh, yes, we're amped talking about Volt.
Nice.
So
Nice.
let's
Amped.
see. What do we got here? What else do we got here? We got 100 of you guys in here. Let's see. Utah Crypto. Volt is high level tokenomics. He is
Oh, yeah.
correct. And so
Yeah, Utah, yeah.
but really, if you guys just go read through this paper, it's not that tough. It's very easy to get through. And even for me, I'm a dummy and I got through this thing no problem. And so I think this was maybe where there was some confusion in the chat about the initial token distribution. And so I'm going to address that question here and then see what Mello said because I believe he answered. So they said, so the entire token supply is released in 10 days. No future supply will be created, or will there be more auction cycles in the future? So it's going to be the auction cycles, but no more supply is created because it's deflationary.
Exactly. And I need to, just on this point of the page, initial token distribution, I need to do that on initial buy and burn. Yeah. And so that should be initial buy and burns. I'll
Okay,
change
so
that. Right. Yeah.
is this answer prescriptive? At day 11, I believe, started the immediate buy and burn of the token. The entire supply will be out in the 10 days of the auction from his whole understanding.
Yeah. So buy and burn begins day 2, and it's 42% of the buy and burn pool which is used. On day 39, day 3, it's 39%, and it goes the whole 39% of the entire buy and burn pool, and it goes all the way down to 15%. So 15% onwards, just like in Inferno, on Sunday to Wednesday it was 4%, Thursday 10% of the buy and burn, and then Friday, Saturday it was 15% of the buy and burn pool in Inferno.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So that leads me to a very stupid question that I would love your speculative answer on. Is it going to be better to get into Volt on day 1 rather than day 5?
That is unknown. And, like everything, I think the first 10 days would be, Vault is designed so the first 10 days would be where, if you like Vault, it's worth getting in because that's when the distribution happens. But me personally, I would just DCA, because if I wanted to put this amount in Vault, I'd probably DCA. But who knows? Maybe, but then you've got to take that risk. Maybe it picks up steam. People really like it on day 5, and it's harder to get the token. So it's part of the game theory of player versus player. What's the best strategy?
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Not
Yeah.
financial advice, folks. Just wanting to see what the best strategy for the verse will be in the Volt buy-in. So yeah, we definitely want to know what's going on and when's the best time to buy into these things. And so I see we've got other things here. We've got the Volt wheel, which we're gonna have to plug into in another live stream. Steve, do you think you'd be wanting to come back and talk more about the Volt wheel after we get through the first phase?
Oh, absolutely. Even on day 1, any from 28th, 29th to the 8th of October, any day that you're available, I'll come on and talk about it on that first 10 days, because I'll probably launch the Vault wheel soon after. So
Okay, great. And so wait a minute. So you already have a launch day.
I have a launch day for Vault. It's the 28th of
Okay,
September.
so
Yeah, next week.
9/28. Ooh, somebody's paying
9/28.
attention. Somebody's paying attention to all the signs out there. 9/28/24, folks, is when you're going to be able to get your hands on some Volt mint with TitanX. Pretty easy stuff. Volt built right on top of TitanX. Has a lot of the similar gaming
Yes.
theory as Inferno, has similar mechanics as some other auctions that we saw with Zen. and the LP webbing of Atropa going to be tied to what we're beginning to learn as maybe 6 major TitanX tokens. Can we get a sneak preview of maybe what some of those are going to be bonded to?
I'll share that with you guys if you get me back on. I mean, I'll give you the scoop.
Okay. Okay, wait,
Yeah,
so I get some hot
but
alpha now, and then you're gonna come back later, or you're gonna tell me on the next one?
and I'll tell you on the next one. The next one.
Okay,
I'll tell you the next
okay.
one.
So,
So
folks,
so the Vault Wheel is stage 2. It's like yin and yang, but the focus is really the Vault. That's what you need to know. And but I mean the tokens. I wanted to pick like I can tell you the tokens. The tokens that I'm going for is DragonX, Inferno, which should be probably 25%, 25%. I'm gonna third was Element 280 because that's everything. I'm gonna get Blaze in there, even though it's not total. I wanted the deflation coin, but I'll go for Blaze because we created Blaze and I want to support Blaze. Lotus, and because they're building on Vault, and Awesome X because that's deflationary. I was gonna have Flux in there, but we're gonna do something with Flux, something special with Flux. The two communities are gonna bond together with something very special. Yeah.
okay, I like this. So, honestly, all these tides are gonna rise, and we're gonna see some crazy action happening with these LPs. I like that. That gets me really,
Yeah.
really excited
Yeah.
about Volt itself.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
Volt,
just on
bro.
the Vault wheel too, because it does play in, the Vault liquidity grows. And so it'll be it'll be Vault token will be being bonded with these 6 tokens and in preparation for the Vault wheel. But once the Vault wheel is live, I want every single of these tokens to be bonded together. So Inferno,
Okay.
I want to have Inferno Dragon X, Inferno Awesome X. I'm just going to create with Inferno everything, everything in the Vault wheel, and then I'll move on to Dragon X and make sure it has everything. So every token I want bonded to each other. That's what I wanted. That's the plan.
It makes a lot of sense, man.
Yeah.
So okay, here we go. One more. We're gonna try to
Day
go through
11
this
up. Yeah.
one more time.
Yeah.
Trying to understand how day 11 onward works. Okay, so after day 10, let me share this real quick. Okay, so the supply is out after day 10 completely.
So if you just refresh that page, this is the buy and burn. So token distribution would be up there. So not to yeah. So stage 1, days 1 to 10, is 100 million Vault tokens a day, and stage 2, day 11 onwards, is all auction Vault tokens come from the Treasure Vault. So
Okay, so this was
yeah.
my question when reading the white paper. How do those tokens go into the treasure vault from the buy and burn mechanism? How do
Right.
they find their way into the
Right.
vault?
Right. So if you go to the buy and burn page again. So at the top, if you stay at the top there, so buy and burn, Vault has innovated the auction, but it's also innovated the buy and burn, because let's call it buy pressure. The buy pressure has 3 functions: buy and burn forever, the token, buy and feed the Vault, and buy and grow the Vault liquidity. So if 80% of the tokens are going into the buy and burn, half and the buy pressure is buying into the liquidity pool. If it buys the tokens, 50% go into the treasure vault for future auctions. 42% are burnt forever, which causes deflation, and the rest are used for liquidity bonding. So the buy and burn, the buy and feed, the buy and grow. That's what the buy pressure does. And so everything that is burnt was brought from the liquidity pool, just like TitanX when it buys and burns. Everything it burnt it's been brought. In Vault, half of the tokens brought brought from the liquidity pool that the buy and burn that it initiates are sent to the treasure vault contract. And on day 11, that is what is used for the auctions. 20% of the full supply of the treasure vault is used in the auctions on day 11.
Okay.
And then day
Awesome.
12.
I think that got us over the hump. All right. So the future tokens in the treasure vault is what gets released in the future auctions past day 11. And I believe that answer is yes.
Awesome.
All right. So I think we got through phase one. Do you think we covered phase one in its entirety? Is there
Yeah.
anything else you'd like to add about Volt right now?
Yeah. Absolutely. If you want to find the Telegram, just go to vault.win. Vault.win. You'll get all my contacts. All my
Oh,
contacts.
that was not it. But you know what? I can share this real quick. Let's see
Vault.win.
here.
Yeah. Did it not?
Boom, right there. Here we are. And oh, I'm sharing all the goods, all the goods. We got Volt. Here he is. All right, and there we see Volt dot win. This is where I was grabbing this from earlier. I've been reading it all week, just kind of dipping
Nice.
in
Nice.
and
Nice.
seeing, hey man, look at Volt. I mean, that's what this particular graphic is what had me questioning. Like, is this a meme token? Like, it's caught
Yeah.
my
So
eye. It's pinned.
yeah.
So I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean, okay.
So the vibe I went for is retro colorful in the vault. So if you look at all my graphics, I went for electric, lightning, retro colorful.
I think
Yeah.
it's nice and definitely catches your eye. So I like that for sure. And definitely the bright, vibrant colors. Good stuff. So let's see, we got 130 people in here right now. I am going to back out of the screen share. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and see if all of you in here can smash that like button. I know it's like right there on your computer so that we can get Steve and Volt Protocol, more eyes on them, get more people in, getting ready to get into that first 10 days, get this thing launched off. Really, really exciting times. Man, this TitanX ecosystem, this thing has blown my mind. Did you expect us to be at this point, man? Did you ever expect this, or did this just all came from keeping your nose down and working hard?
Yeah. I was waiting at day 280 for a massive dip and I was waiting to buy, and that buy never came. I ended up buying on the way up. So the intensity of the rebound from day 80 took me by surprise. I thought I was going to have time to DCA in. I thought it was going to be some dumping. I was really bullish coming up to day 280 because I knew that it was going to be a great buy, but I was front run, so I had to buy at a higher price. Because when you look at the amount of support in liquidity in the TitanX buy and burn, and the utility of value these build on TitanX projects bringing to the whole TitanX system, I knew it was going to be a good play. And so that's why I actually sold my Solana in August and went into TitanX. Yeah, I
Bro,
was
he is outing
the,
himself. He is
yeah,
a
I'm Titan. Yeah,
TitanX
the
maxi.
the Blaze guys know that I'm like all year I've been like talking about Solana, and so I told them like one day I just sold all my Solana, and I did it in a good price because it had pumped. I was just lucky, and that timing. But I sold my Solana, went into TitanX and Tesla, Tesla too, Tesla and TitanX.
Hey,
So
look, that's not too bad. T investments right there. Not financial advice, folks. Look, we are coming up on about 40 minutes here, and I think that's about good. That's about a digestible amount,
yeah,
and people can get what's going on with that first phase, and then we'll go over stage two, and learn more about the Volt
yeah,
wheel. The
let's
next
do
time
it.
we can bring Steve on. If anybody else has any more questions, you can throw them in the chat right now. I hope I answered all your questions and that you enjoyed the stream today. This was a blast for me.
Thank you,
This
man.
was something new for me to get to do. And I know Chris is probably enjoying himself surfing somewhere. So just be glad we were able to give that guy a break because he's going to
Yeah.
keep bringing the hot alpha. And we're going to just keep delivering it to you guys like we're bringing you meals on wheels. That's what we do. We're keeping it good. Steve, it has been a pleasure,
Awesome.
brother. Thank you
Thank you,
so
man.
much. it's awesome to meet you virtually,
Yeah.
and I hope that you and us and the Blaze boys get a chance to just maybe kick it in like Singapore one day or something.
Oh, let's do it. I love
Yeah,
that. I love
yeah,
Asia. I
sounds
live there
good.
most of my life. I live there most of my life.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, I love it. Yeah, like I'm more Asian than European, to be honest with
Look,
you.
man, you can tour guide us around and show us the Asians and the Europeans. We
Yeah.
want to meet everybody. We want to grow and connect with as many people as possible. That's what we do here at The Verse, baby. So
Yeah,
thank you
man.
so much for coming on today, Steve.
Thank
We'd
you.
love to
Thank you.
connect with you again. And for the rest of my degenerates out there, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so that we can keep you up to date with the latest, greatest news and information in this space, in the TitanX ecosystem, in the Pulse Chain ecosystem, and whatever else we want to cover. Peace.